AskReddit by Kiwa Pangolin. You meet your 13-year-old self, but you can only tell them 3 words. What do you say and why? Drugs ruined you. I'm sorry. Drugs cause so much pain. Don't fucking smoke. I'm surprised I haven't seen that comment yet. Worst mistake I ever done. Never start gambling. She won't change. Love dad more. Edit. I don't ever check my Reddit notifications. I never expected this to blow up. My dad was diagnosed with cancer on my 13th birthday and passed away less than 3 months later. To everyone who has lost or is losing a parent, I'm sorry. You all know those words don't really do anything. But I am sorry. It's an awful thing to lose a parent. A word of advice. Remember everything. Don't make them out to be a saint. My dad was an angry guy. He fucked up sometimes. He snapped too fast. He made mistakes. But that didn't mean he didn't love me any less or that he wasn't a great dad. It means that he was human. Every mistake he made was a lesson for me then or a lesson for the future if I ever have my own kids. Appreciate the good and the bad. Because at the end of the day it's a memory you have. And if anyone ever needs to vent or talk or ask questions then please reach out. My dad died 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and I did love my dad a lot. I'm almost 30 and have came to visit my family every other weekend for the past 4 or 5 years. It's best thing I could have done for myself and my heart right now. Last summer my dad said you're going to miss me when I'm gone and I'm so glad I had a chance to say I sure will, Dad. Stop copying others. Younger you, stop copying others. Hug your dad. He died when I was 18. I came here to type hug your mom because she died when I was 17. I'm sorry to hear that you went through the same pain. Stay strong. Yes, Kimmy, California. My sister wanted to move to California near where I was living. My life was really complicated at the time and I really discouraged it. My marriage was a mess and I was afraid it would make it worse. She stayed where she was. About a year later she was killed by a drunk driver. My marriage ended. I would do literally anything to still have my sister here. I'm so sorry for your loss. I understand how you must feel responsible for her death. There's no telling what would have happened if she had moved to California though. In a parallel universe, maybe she did move near you and was killed by a drunk driver there, and you feel responsible for her death because you didn't stop her from moving. It wasn't anyone's fault except for that driver. I hope you can eventually find peace and feel less guilt, even though that's easier said than done. Stay off ATVs. Rolled a 4-wheeler when I was 16. Left leg has never been the same. I work in a pediatric operating room in an area where ADVs are popular. Anytime the weather is nice and the kids are out of school, the number of add-on surgeries we have for ATV injuries is mind-boggling. 4-year-old, shattered femur, ATV rollover 8-year-old, broken left arm, ATV rollover 13-year-old, ATV ejection, emergency cranny, shattered pelvis, degloving of the leg, brain bleeds, punctured lungs. On and on and on. So much agony. So many kids. It's easily the #1 cause of emergent surgery we do. In my book, putting a kid on an ATV is about the same as giving an infant a loaded gun for a pacifier. I'm really only replying to you because I hope at least one person will read this thread, change their mind, and keep a kid out of your morgue. Don't forget about. Listen here, you. Don't smoke, dumbus. Edit. Yes, I know, don't is technically 2 words when written out. But I'm not writing a letter or note to 13-year-old chef in VAR. I would be speaking it out loud. And don't smoke, dumbus is 3 words when spoken. I told my dad this every single day growing up. I used to throw fits when I was a kid because I knew how bad it was for him and I had watched my grandmother die from it at 64. He's made it to 73, but he virtually immobile due to COPD. Keep making music. There is taking a break to grow, and then there are dark ages where you forsake your instrument and regress. They suck. Don't smoke cigarettes. I started smoking when I was 25 like a dumb asshole, and I'm only 30 and I cough up blood clots, not enough to cause alarm, but I'm too stressed to quit and don't have money for the doctor even though I pay $160 a month in health insurance. Edit. Y'all are all telling me the same exact thing. Stop making all the same comments please. Like if you see one person commented on it already, then don't lol. Pretty sure with 3 German words you could write a short story. Die Bart. Die. Give mom love. She would pass away a year later. This is gutting. I'm so sorry. I lost my dad when I was 12 and I worried he didn't know I loved him. I worried about it, tortured myself over it. Still, speaking as a mom and grandma, I can assure you, she loved you very much and she definitely knew that you loved her. Kids worry. Moms know, without a doubt, that they are loved. Don't marry Jeff. Jeff bad. Bitcoin. Hug dad more. I feel that. Holy shit. Here's what I'd do. First I'd show him my college ID pic that I took at 18 years old. I'm 23 now, so the image looks enough like me and him for him to understand and believe who I am. Then I'd shout slowly but as loud as I can. Dad Pankin 2017. Hopefully he'd look up what Pankin is and see that it refers to pancreatic cancer. 2017 is the year he got diagnosed with stage 4. He died 2 years later, but if we had checked even earlier we might have detected it sooner and at a smaller stage. He may have survived. I was 13 in 2012, so I'd have 5 years to make a difference. Hope I was smart enough at 13 where if this scenario had occurred I could have done something about it. If not, well, at least I'd know how much time I had left with him. Definitely could have appreciated him more. He was the best dad in the goddamn world. Edit. There's a Pankin walk occurring in multiple cities across the US next Saturday, the 30th of April. You don't even have to walk. You can just donate to Pankin or give you are so inclined. Thanks for all the upvotes and awards. You are autistic. That's my 3 words. That would have solved so many goddamn problems, knowing who I am. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards. Aside to other fellow autistics who struggle with it, go get a trampoline and jump. It can rewire your brain. Also 15 Hz beta waves help balance out the brain. Go try it out. It's you have ADHD for me, but otherwise same thing. Brush your teeth. Can I show them my teeth as well? My 13-year-old self wouldn't give a feck what my 30-year-old self says unless I give physical examples. I love you. Ignore ads, everything. Thank you for putting this into 3 words. Exactly this. My father has never said anything to me that was actually in my best interest. Mom kills herself. My only regret is how I dealt with the years of lead up. 13 would have been early enough for me to have made a difference, maybe. It's not your fault, love. You as a kid couldn't fix that, it's okay. Go to therapy. Eater. Or I'm so glad this resonated with people, and thank you for the award. I finally went to therapy in my mid-20s, and it improved my quality of life so much. Don't trade Charizard. I wish I still knew where my holographic Charizard card was. No student loans. Then a slap to drive the point home. And for me, double slap, don't ever cosign. Stay in school. You live in school now. Secretly you are the bathroom ghost. Don't do heroin. Eater. I'm doing quite well. Better than I deserve, TBH. Just 20 years behind where I would have been. But it's all good. Wouldn't trade what I have for anything. Eater 2. Better than I deserve refers to all the shady shit I did for which I didn't get caught. And thank you so much for all the kind words. Everybody deserves happiness. But I found that happiness is an inside job. Ha, like that would have stopped me. Listen to dad. My mom was batshit insane and alienated her kids from dad. Would have saved me a lot of tears had I never trusted her. Are you my sister? My mom tried her damnedest to brainwash my sister and amp I into thinking my dad was an awful human being. She was successful in that with me until she kicked me out of the house at, freshly, 19. In the middle of the night with no money and nowhere to go. I quickly learned that she was projecting. My dad and amp stepmom are absolutely wonderful people who put up with so much shit from me. I'm grateful for them, their love and their forgiveness every single day. Wear a condom. What's the kid's name? Treat her better. You were abused. I've been on Reddit for almost 3 years and just bought coins for the first time for you. I always thought my feelings were invalid and people have it worse, etc. Grinning. Brush your teeth. Yes. Not because my teeth are horrible, but I could have avoided a lot of unnecessary dental work if I had just taken better care of my teeth. I love you. Nobody else was saying it to me and meaning it. Don't date. This was mine too. My first relationship was a whole PTSD experience, and though I learned a lot from it, it still haunts me. Enjoy your childhood. This one hits harder than others. Nat has herpes. Can you imagine? A portal from the future ends the fabric of reality. You see yourself aged and stressed, expecting the most profound moment of your life, and Nat has herpes. Tell someone please. He would know what that means, and I think it would save us from years of heartache. I hope you've gotten the help and support you need. If you need someone to talk to, feel free to DM me. Save up money. Talk to people. I had these exact words in mind before I entered the comment section. Damn. You brain injured. I was and didn't find out until I was 48. Would you care to explain how could you be brain injured and not suspect it? Exercise, socialize, study. I don't need a time traveler to tell me that. My parents already did. I just did not listen. Invest Amazon 2003. You heavily invest in the Amazon rainforest only to have 70% of it destroyed by 2030. You are destitute. Happiness isn't linear. Everyone needs to know this at any stage of life, but I wish I was told that back at 13, so I would know earlier that life is full of ups and downs. The downs will go back up, though the ups don't always last long. Alcohol. But don't. I was going to say, don't start drinking. You'll be okay. This was my very thought before diving into all the replies. Leave Jehovah's Witnesses. Those 3 words would have the biggest positive impact on my life. Even more than crypto or COVID. I had a close work friend recently commit suicide and I blame JW 100%. She was a Jehovah's Witness and had been struggling with mental health issues and had been closet drinking to cope. She went to her grandparents about it, also JW, and instead of offering her support, they reported her to the church and then began talks of excommunication. She lived with her grandparents, so excommunication would have left her homeless. A few days later, she left work on her lunch break and never came back. The next time anyone saw her, she was laying on the freeway, dead. She had jumped from the bridge above. Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult. People love you. Double quote. Those times were rough. In the way only a stranger can. I love you. Take care. It gets better. Came here to say that. Don't use tobacco. Get ADHD medication.